Welcome back to the grind for another Act 7.2 guide. This is going to be quest number 3 with the Rust and Rain and Thorns node. Now, in this, if you are the same class as the defender, every debuff on you will not only prevent the damage from Thorns, but it will actually reflect it back to the opponent. That will help you deal a lot more damage throughout the fight and make it go quicker. If you are running suicides, then you already start off with 2 debuffs, which means you're reflecting 60% of the Thorns damage back and taking 60% less. Once you attack into the opponent, there is a 40% chance for each hit to give you an armor break, and this allows you to build up even more debuffs to further reduce the Thorns damage that you take and further reflect the damage to the opponent. So the goal is to use champions that are the same class as the opponent on the line, and the class of the champions on this path are Science, Cosmic, and Skill. So you want to bring a team of those champions, but there are some exceptions that if you do not have champions strong enough for certain fights, you can work around in some ways. So Immortal Abomination is a great science option because he not only does he heal from the poisons, but he has good damage overall. And with willpower, the armor breaks that you're easily stacking up on yourself helps any champion heal back the damage that they're taking from Thorns because it's such a small amount once you stack up some of the armor breaks to help you reflect the damage back. So a very easy first fight for Immortal Abomination. The next fight is against Proxima. So we're going in with Hyperion, who is also a very solid champion for this because he does so much damage and he has multiple hits, so he can really build up and keep those armor breaks up. Once you get to 5 armor breaks, it actually converts them into a single other armor break, so you do end up going up and down a little bit on your armor breaks, but they're very easy to stack multiple of them, so you don't really end up taking much of the Thorns damage as long as you're using the same class as the opponent. And once again, with all those armor breaks, if you have willpower, you are going to be healing throughout the entire fight to build back some of that damage from the Thorns that you're taking, or if you do have suicides on, then it'll help with the recoil damage. So that was a very quick fight, just under 40 seconds for that one. So Namor is another option where you don't have to use as a class advantage because as long as you are at Sig 200, you will be reflecting 100% of the damage that you would take back at the opponent. And so you can use this as a counter for pretty much any fight on this path if for some reason you do not have the right champions to do the full lane with the class advantage. So Namor is a fantastic option, and he will be healing throughout the fight as well because not only is he not taking damage from suicides when he's reflecting the damage back, but also he's stacking up the armor breaks as well, which is allowing him healing throughout the entire fight. Now, Falcon is also another champion that can counter this, or anyone with ability accuracy reduction, because he will not take Thorns damage from attacking into the opponent. Now, what I haven't quite figured out yet is why it looks like Spider-Gwen is taking burst damage as if I'm still reflecting back the Thorns damage, because while you do not need superiority to prevent the damage from Thorns, any class champion can prevent the Thorns damage, or reduce it, I should say, based on having debuffs on you, but you need to have the same class as the opponent to actually reflect the damage back. So I'm not exactly sure what the interaction is that's causing me to actually reflect additional damage from most of these hits, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Falcon is a great counter regardless whether or not you're getting the extra damage, especially against Spider-Gwen, because you can increase with the crit damage because you're shutting down evades. Now again, we're coming back in against Corvus with Hyperion. Hyperion is just such a great champion for this path because he can keep up those debuffs so easily, and he just deals so much damage. So we throw off our first special 2 here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to our second special 2. We're going to land that stun, allowing us to chain on a couple heavies, and then we're pretty much done with the fight. He is going to have his glaive charges come back up, and so we are going to have to knock him down or remove all those glaive charges, and the fight is over. Now the last fight on this path is Night Thrasher. So this is a very simple, straightforward fight as well. We're using Nick Fury to get that same class, to get the superiority, to allow us to reflect damage back once again. But with all the bleed damage he has, this fight just goes pretty quick as well. Not quite as fast as Hyperion was doing, but really any champions can be used if you have the same class as the opponent. And then once again, you can use champions like Namor to just completely counter the node altogether, or champions like Falcon to shut down the node. And who knows, I guess maybe if it's bugged, you're going to take advantage of it as well. well. But this is pretty much it. Let me know what champions you used for this lane, if you had any specific fights that were challenging, and what you thought of this so far. I do hope that this and my other guides have been helpful for you. If you haven't seen them yet, check them out. I've got a bunch of guides for different bosses, easy lanes, and I'm working on getting all the lanes into these folders like this one. So good luck, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.